YouTubers, today we're going to service a 2006 Volkswagen Passat 1.9 turbo diesel. Now obviously I got on the lift like I always do, it just makes it easier for me, and obviously I have a lift and it makes it easier to see what's going on. Basically the first thing, like we do all the time, is get your engine nice and warm, and we're going to drain the oil. That's the first thing to do. Make sure the engine is warm, because all the crap and all the crud from the oil falls down the bottom, the oil's thinner and it just drains a lot nicer. So that's the first thing to do. We'll crack on with it. Now as you can see, I've actually removed the plastic tray from underneath. There's no point me showing you that. Now there's some nuts here on these. Now this little fella here is your oil sensor. So when your engine light or your oil light comes on, it's because this fella's either not working, or what sometimes happens, especially when you don't have the shield on the bottom, is this wire can get caught or ripped or anything like that. So if that happens, obviously pull over, but you might have oil in, so you could be safe to drive somewhere. It's just that this could be broke. So it's just a quick check to look under the car to make sure that's not broke. If it is broke, you can still drive, but just get it repaired. You know, if you've got no oil in the car, obviously don't drive. But that just makes sense. Now 19 mil, take off the sump knot, crack it. Now see if I can do this without getting covered in oil. And we're about to find out. Oh yeah! No oil on my fingers. Like I said, that oil's nice and warm, or hot should I say, and it's black. Obviously diesels, they always come black, but you can see it's very thin and stuff like that, so it's good that the oil's coming out. Now it's always good to clean the old plug, and just to check the if you can see that, just to check the actual washer, and so I'll make sure it's not damaged or anything like that, because if that's damaged, you can leak. If it's damaged, change it. If it's not. Now once that's fully drained like it has, just stick the old sump nut back on. It's best to do this kind of straight away because it's easy to forget, and you don't want new oil all over the place. And the other thing is, if you don't realise it's on and you start the car, you could do a hell of a lot of damage too. So just a nice squeeze like that, a nice pinch. That's the oil, so we'll lift it down now and do the oil filter. But just why I'm here, another common problem with these Passats, this is your wishbone here and this is your back wishbone bushing, and it's held on by 3 bolts, same on the other side as well. These do give problems, so if you hear your car banging when you're going over bumps, or the inside of your tyre is wearing, just like this one as you can see, it's a good indication that this bushing's gone. Now it's very cracked, so that bushing is, well, to be honest, it's gone. You can see all the cracks and all the big dents in it and stuff, so it's just another thing to be aware of. I'm not going to go into it too much in this video because this video is going to be a service video, so I'm just going to go through. So I'm going to do another video on bushings and all that sort of stuff, but for this one we're just going to stick with the service. Now the next thing to do is we'll take off this cover and get the filter. So the cover just pops off. Now the filter on the other hand is a bit hidden, and it's down there as you can see. So it's a 27 mil if I remember correctly, could be wrong, but we're going to see now. Let's see if I'm right. Now it's 32 mil, not 27. I think it's the Golfs that are 27, but anyway. So what I'm going to do now is just whip it off. Shouldn't be that tight, and it's not, which is a good thing because it's only plastic, so you don't want these tight coming off because it can break. Just be careful when you actually screw it off completely, because there's still going to be a little bit of oil in it, a bit messy. Just flick it around and that's it. Simple as that. Ready to put the new one on. pull it out. I'm just gonna get a little rag, so just so you don't, it just pulls out, just so you don't get oil covered over. There's a little clip on the bottom. And the new one, literally, just pushes straight in. It's always best to check that the same height, same diameter, all these pins and everything are the same. It's always best just to double check that. So that one's on, we'll put it in and put the oil on. Make sure it goes down straight so that pin definitely finds the right hole. And again, screw it down as much as you can by hand first before you put anything on it. You can screw it a good bit by hand. Now, tighten up. You don't want to go too tight because again it's only plastic. So I just grip the top of it rather than the back of it here. You can't tighten it as hard by doing it that way because you haven't got as much leverage. Bit of a nip, that's as simple as that. So that's done. Now the next thing is the oil. Now, I've been asked on a few meshes and stuff, why don't you tell us what oil you're putting in, all this sort of stuff. The problem is there's so many different types of oils for each car, and it depends even where you live. If you live in a hotter climate or a colder climate, the same car will take different oils. So it's too difficult for me to say. If I say, oh, I put this oil in, someone's going to say, oh, we don't put that in, blah, 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 blah. So I just don't bother. But basically, it's 530 Volkswagen spec that goes in this car in Ireland, in the climate we're in. You're in different climates, you might even have to put 1040 in Volkswagen spec. So it just depends where you are in the world. So that's why I don't really say. I'm going to put 4 litres in this because it's a 1.9 first. And then I'm going to check, we might need more. I say we will need a little bit more, but 4 litres will let me put enough in, let me start it, fill up the filter, and we'll be okay to go from there. So we're going to stick 4 litres in first. Again, you don't want to pour this in too fast. Then we're going to check it after that if we need any more. Now it's 4 litres that have gone in there, so I'm just going to take the dipstick out and wipe it and put it in and check. On this particular dipstick, you'll see the hashed out area just there where my finger is. The bottom of that is low and the top of that is the minimum mark and the maximum mark is there. Just that little hashed out area there. On side view you can just see it's kicked out a little bit. Now that's actually too much, but that's not a problem because when I start it, the filter is going to take some oil, so we won't mind that. So I'm just going to now start it. I'm going to start this for about 5 seconds, wait for the oil light to go off, and then I'm going to wait another 10-15 seconds, just let the oil filter fill up with oil, and then knock it off and double check the level. Now, so that's long enough now. I'm going to let the oil settle a bit, a few more seconds, and then check. As we can see, it's gone down and it's absolutely, if you can see that, there we go, bang on the mark. So that's good. So that's that done. Next thing we'll do would be, let's move over to the air filter. It's just there. Now it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Phillips screws because they just go up here as well. Whip off them. Now that's all the screws. Now these screws don't come out all the way. So as you screw them out, they're stuck in there, so you can't lose them, which is great. Take out the old one, and like I always do, just best to compare them to make sure they're both the same size, same everything, so you know it's going to fit. So that's the old one, can go. Now what I would normally do is blow this out with an air gun. If you haven't got an air gun, a hoover. But to be fair to that, that is absolutely immaculate inside there, so it doesn't need it. and just screw it back. Now, that's that. Next thing, I think we'll do the diesel filter, which is over here, which is that unit right there. Now, there's a T20 torque. That's the torque, T20. That's the filter there. Now, these tend to be a bit tight. So what I've done is I've just put the vice grips on the torque here. It just gives me a bit more leverage to turn. So I just go around them all, crack them all. Now, to be fair, these aren't tight. I've seen these a lot tighter. And just undo them all. You can leave the pipes on. So you don't need to take them pipes off, just leave them on. There's 6 screws. And there's a little flap here that's just lifted up slightly. You can wedge a flat bladed screwdriver in there to just flip it up. I'm going to need to get one. So just a flat bladed screwdriver in there and twist just to ease it up a little bit. There we go. Simple as that. Might need to just do it going around here too, just to get it up. Now, simple as that. Let it drain off. Give it a bit of a shake. Remember, more than 2 shakes. You know what they say. Now, as you can see from the state of that compared to this one, you can see the difference. Black. So it does need changing. I just want to make sure it's all out. I'm just pulling it back in here so it doesn't go everywhere. Same thing again, you want to just check, same height, same everything, and to be fair, these are the same, so I know I'm going to be okay. Now, a couple of things. You can't really see on camera, but I'm looking down there now and there's no sign of water. There's no sign of any crap or anything like that. You can actually see, I'll try and get the camera in. You can actually see all the way down to, well, actually on camera it looks like it's dirty, but it actually isn't. You can see all the way down there. So that's a good sign. If there was any sign of dirt or water, what I suggest you suck that out completely, get a rag inside and just wipe around. But lucky enough with this one we don't need to. Now, one thing we will need to do, because these, they're not hard to bleed, but because they're self-bleeding. But if this isn't filled up of diesel in there, this will never ever start, no matter what you do around the engine. That has to be full of diesel, otherwise these will not start. You'll never get them to bleed. Once that's full of diesel, piss easy. So what I'm going to do is I've got my can here full of diesel. I'm just going to top that up full of diesel. Now that's right to the top. And now what I'm going to do is just sit this back down. Now, the only one thing you want to make sure, can only go one way. There's a little cutout right at the back here. If I can zoom in on that. No, I can't. There's a little cutout just right there. So this can only sit down one way. A little bit's going to come out, but don't worry about that. Now, push it down nice and evenly as you can get it. And put the screws back and tighten the screws opposite, just like you do a wheel. It'll just then mean that your filter will go down levelish and it'll save problems. So I'm going to put 3 in at the minute. I'm going to tighten these in a little triangle just to make sure that it goes down evenly. Now, it's gone in, there's no gaps. Obviously you have to start it just to check it, but what I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of a nip, not too hard. Put the vice grips back on and just give them all a little bit of a nip. I didn't even tighten that one, so just a bit of a nip, just so you know they're definitely seated and all's good. Now, hopefully this will start. Well, it's going to start anyway because there's diesel in the line. Let's hope it keeps running. So, here goes. Now if that was going to cut out, it would have cut out by now. I'm going to leave it running for another, say 30 seconds or so, just to definitely make sure that it's not going to cut out, and then we can move on with the next thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put back the cover and this little bit of foamy stuff. Just go around the top of the engine there. Like I said, another good thing is just to check that there's no pipe rubbing, there's no pipes loose or anything like that. It's another good, quick, handy check to do so you don't cause yourself problems in the future. Right, this just literally slides back on in the back and pushes down. Now, it's a bit of a wipe properly later, just get all the crap off. No harm. Now what we're going to do is basically check the levels and stuff like that, water level, brake level, windscreen wiper washer, stuff like that, you know. And yeah, it's more or less done. Now I've got to do tyres and other stuff on this, but there's no point in me really showing that because not everyone's going to have a tyre machine at home. So unless you really want me to show you, just leave a comment down if you want to see how a tyre's changed. We can do that, no problem. Now, so the next thing is we're going to get to turn the old camera. We'll do the levels. Now we'll do the water level first. Obviously you can rock it. This is a little bit low, but first we're going to check the colour. Again, I can look down and see it's pink. Volkswagen should be pink, so that's a good sign. It's not just water, or it's not green, so it's the right colour. Put my little gadget in, which sucks up the water then, and depending on how many float, you can see that. 4, say 4 is floating, that's going up, and that's good to minus 33. Yeah, camera's going to zoom into that. Will it focus? There we go. 4 floating, minus, well, 25 to 31. So we know we're okay. We know we're okay as regards that. So what I'm going to do is, because there's plenty of antifreeze in it, I'm just going to top that up with a little bit of water. Now if the antifreeze was low, you'd obviously have to top it up with antifreeze, but because we've definitely got loads in, only need about half a cup full. Not a big deal, so we can get away with putting water in that. Now this is the windscreen wiper bottle. Unfortunately, I already filled that up when the car came in. I forgot to film it, so, but it's just water and windscreen wash, that's it. So look, that's it. We're going to check the lights. We're going to do a few more things on this as well. So look, that's it really. We're going to check the lights and do a few more things. I've got tyres to do on this and that, so there's no point really filming that unless you want to see it, obviously. But that is a basic service on a Passat 06 Passat diesel. Like I said on my videos, there is certain things you need to check on certain cars, but that's another video. So there's no point in putting it all in. This is just basically how to quickly do things, save yourself a few quid, because that's what it's all about, innit? Save yourself a few quid. And look, hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.